And so today, what we really want to emphasize, and we can feel you're up for it, what we really want to emphasize is the close proximity. It's so close that you could call it instant manifestation, although that freaks you out. The close proximity between the alignment that you achieve deliberately with your vortex and the manifestations that follow, or the not closeness with your vortex that you achieve and the manifestations that follow. We want to show you how whatever it is you're feeling is causing the manifestations to unfold. Now, sometimes you don't believe that because it feels like, oh, there's already people out there. There are already situations that have been created. I cannot create in the experience of another. But we want you to understand that you can evoke, you can elicit, you can rendezvous with. In fact, not just can you, but you do, with precisely in the moment how you're feeling in the moment, with precisely how you're doing, how you're feeling in the moment, with precisely how you're doing, how you're feeling in the moment. Now, friends, freak you out or not, that's instant manifestation. You can be observing something that's not so good, and maybe it's irritating you, maybe it's frightening you, maybe it's just frustration. It could be anywhere in that range of unwanted emotions, strong or not so strong. And as you focus there, you cause a vibration within you to reverberate in response to whatever it is that you're observing. You just let often that circumstance train you into a vibrational frequency. And then everything that happens to you now, this could take a while, now, reflects what you've got going on vibrationally. Now, what you've got going on vibrationally is always reflected to you by what you feel. But what happens to you so often is you become accustomed to feelings that are indicators of vibration that's going to reflect back to you more stuff that you really don't want so much. But you're hardy, we know. You take those classes, those stiff upper lip classes. You take those wrestle it to the ground and kill it classes. You take those life isn't supposed to be fair or fun classes. You take those I'm strong and I'm hardy and I can endure and I can persevere and life isn't supposed to be fun. And we say, yes, it is. It's supposed to be fun, not just now, but always. And then the real fun is to recognize either because the feeling didn't feel good or because the manifestation doesn't feel good. Maybe somebody says something to you that you didn't like, that you didn't think they should have said, that you didn't really believe you had coming, and that most of all you don't ever want to hear it again. But you're hearing it, it's happening, and why is it happening? Is it happening because reality has descended on you? Or is it happening in response to a vibrational stance that you've been practicing that you maybe didn't even know you were practicing until it manifested? But here it is. Reality happens. We've seen the bumper stickers. We like this one better. Reality happens. So then you say, we want you to say, oh, but I get this stuff. I know that I'm the creator of my own experience. I'm not a regurgitator. I observed that and I had a regurgitating knee-jerk response to it, which I kept practicing because it was really absurd and obscene what happened. And so I told everybody that I saw for a while, do you know what that guy said? Do you know what he said? Do you know what he said? Do you know what he did? Do you know how he made me feel? So you keep it going for a little while, but in all of that, launching, clarifying, vortexing, creating, doing the vibrational precursoring, it's not a word, but write it down anyway, to what future manifestations can be depending upon what you do vibrationally. In other words, you've launched the rockets, the potential is there for the new and improved experience. The question is, are you going to keep regurgitating what is, because after all, that guy was really out of line? Or are you going to take the bounce and practice, and here are the operative words, practice the less easy vibration, because that's the easy vibration. You just observed it. All of your physical senses told you it was reality, and if you gathered together with others and went on some of those talk shows, most of the people would agree with you that that person was a misbehaving person and that you are right. But we are wanting to say to you, It doesn't matter how right you are in your negative emotion or in your pushing against. You are depriving yourself of the creation that has been born out of it, and you can't feel good until you come along with the new creation, because you got to keep up with you. You got to keep up with you. And what you're going to come to realize as you play with this more and more in a conscious, deliberate way is that it is oh so fun to witness something unwanted, maybe something really unwanted, because in the knowing of what you don't want, there is a bounce or the other end of that vibrational wavelength that knows exactly what you do want. And even though you can't maybe speak what you want because you're so embroiled in what you don't want, what you do want's bouncing out of you, bouncing out of you, bouncing out of you, because friends, you just got to know how obvious it is when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. In other words, that's that deciphering process, isn't it? And when you really don't want it, you really do want something else. And when you sort of don't want it, you sort of don't want something else. But this process helps you to define whether you can speak it or not. So this expansion is contained, and that's not an accurate word because it's fluid and flowing, but it is held. That's not really the right word either because it's fluid and flowing, but it's gathered is a better word. It's amassed is a better word in what we're depicting as a vibrational vortex. And the reason we call it a vortex is because in this attraction power, there's this constant gathering of things that match this desire. We call those the cooperative components. The cooperative components to what you are asking for. Well, vibrationally speaking, that's sort of boring, Abraham, because I can't see that stuff amassing. I trust you sort of, but I can't see it, so it's conceptual. It's a theory. Feels a little like fairy dust all over it. I get the idea of it. I believe that vibration precedes everything. But to ask me to believe in a vortex that I can't see, when there's all this manifestation that I can see, oh, Abraham, manifestation is more compelling. Because we could gather together in groups. We can agree on what we see. We can take tests about it. We can accurately acknowledge what it is. Manifestation is meaty. It's seeable, hearable, smellable, tasteable, touchable. It's reality. Abraham, manifestation is reality. We hear you. You talk to us all the time, and quite often you're annoyed. And we say, it is reality, but it's reality that has spawned and accrued and accumulated and come into your visual, sensual senses because it is a vibrational match to something that you've got chronically going on. And you have to know that because as you move around the planet and you interact with people, you see people living in similar circumstances that are manifesting entirely differently. You see people who everything seems to always go wrong for them, and you see people who everything seems to always go right for them. And you just got to know there's a vibrational variance that makes the difference in what's happening to you, not just generally, but specifically moment by moment. So this defining, this preferring, this giving birth to new intentions, it's the evolution of all species. It's the evolution of the cellular species. It's the evolution of the human species. It's the evolution of everything, is this energy or vibration that bounces from someone, whether you're a one-celled organism or whether you're a full-fledged genius human, focusing and identifying, whether consciously or whether vibrationally, identifying what it is you prefer. Evolution, evolution, expanding, expanding, becoming, becoming, becoming. But most humans are really slow on the trigger to go along with what they have birthed. Your inner being isn't. In other words, you were source energy before you came into this physical body, and only a part of that consciousness, a really rather small, we will not say insignificant, but it is part of you. In other words, the larger part of you remains non-physical. Here you are, physically focused, this wonderful personality that is you, sifting through and preferring, expanding, becoming, asking, whether you put words to it or not. Someone's rude, you want nicer people around you. If you're sick, you want to be well. If you're really sick, you really want to be well. If you don't have enough money, you want money. All day, every day, bounce, 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 bounce. And the source within you becoming, because every time you say, I'd like that, source who holds no resistance, your inner being who holds no resistance, becomes what you've asked for, vibrationally speaking. Now, that doesn't ring your bells very much because you're into manifestation, and it's okay. That's why you're here in these flesh, blood, and bony bodies. You have come for manifestations. You've come to this leading edge because, to line up and manifest, it just doesn't get any better than that. This is not catching up time. This is leading edge time. You're not here to prove worthiness through your manifesting. You're here to prove creation through your manifesting. In other words, you're here to create through manifestation. So, as you stand in your physical body and you're aware of the buffet that's before you, some things you can look right at and know you prefer them, and some things you can look at and know that you would like it to be better. And have you noticed that if you let yourself believe in your own or global or mass consciousness, personal or bigger expansion, that you cannot stop for a moment thinking of what would be better? Esther's been in the new kitchen in Texas, and most things that are in most cupboards have not been there very long because she keeps finding a better place for everything. Anyone who's trying to find something that was there yesterday is in trouble because today it's in a new and improved place for a while. In other words, she'll find the place that works perfectly in time, but it's very funny to her that there are so many places for improvement no matter how good something is. You never run out of the desire to expand because you are eternal beings. So what we're getting at is you could be observing something that isn't something that you want. And as you're observing it, you're taking it in, you're having conversations about it, and in doing so, you're holding your vibration in an even more specific place. Because the more attention you give to anything, the more specifically focused you are, and the more specifically focused you are, the faster the energy moves and the faster the manifestation becomes. So you could be looking at this thing, and let's call it, for sake of this analogy, something unwanted, and this is the point we want to make with you. Without even realizing it, your observation of your current financial condition or your physical condition or your relationship condition or whatever it is that you're focusing upon, your attention to it is causing a vibrational response in you which equals your point of attraction. Now, your point of attraction isn't something that's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the next day. Your point of attraction is something that's manifesting now. So much so that this thought and this conversation that you've got going on is going to cause the next people who walk into your experience to reflect back to you precisely what it is you've got going on. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to how close on the heels of what you're feeling, especially if you're feeling it strongly, the manifestation follows. We have adored this interaction. It is delicious to interact with you. We can feel that you are in an entirely different place of understanding. You can feel the power of the vortex, and your relationship with it has shifted dramatically. We are eager to observe the manifestational evidence of the vibrational shift that has taken place within you. You now know deliberate creation in a whole new way. And everyone with whom you interact is just going to be this godsend of a reflection of how you're doing vibrationally. It's so nice. Manifestation fast on the heels to let you know where you are. And why would there be such a loving universe that would give you constant feedback about where you are? Because you're supposed to feel good. Because it's right that you feel good, that it's natural that you feel good. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain consistently and insistently with practice beyond verbal description in the vortex. Yeah. What a nice day. Very good. Yeah. Yeah.